You did good.
It was curling where I met him. Holy Christ, I can't forget him. He was throwing stones down sheet 5 with the rocks in the center. We knew we could do better. Meeting my curling man made me feel so alive. Here you go. Got it.
Baby.
Oh, hey, we got a new intro. I don't know if anybody noticed that on our last episode or not.
I got a new intro, I think.
Yeah.
It might cause strife in the household.
Oh, you got a new one from last week too?
No, my wife was here and she ad-libbed a curling song. So.
Oh, so even better than you blowing our ears out last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I cut that part out. I just got us giggling about it.
Yeah, that's funny. Between Two Sheets, episode 14, season number 2. Nolan Axton, Wes Mason here with you, live from Tuesday night, Military League Curling.
We got the 2 Musketeers back.
The 2 hacks.
Yeah.
Let's not even call them today.
Well, let's see where we go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Clay Feldner is our third co-host who is absent.
If you're an avid listener,
say the unsaid thing.
If you're an avid viewer, you know, but he's been pretty sporadic this year. He's like a milk cow.
I know.
And or a cheetah. That's
his excuse
better.
His excuse tonight was kids, but we know their bedtime's like 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
and those kids love the curling club.
They do. They were here last night. Big night here last night.
It was a big night. Do you want to talk about that?
A little bit, sure.
What was your favorite part? Was it the luxurious display of desserts that was provided for you?
I did have a really good cake that was made for me. Two very good cakes.
Yes.
My co-host sitting across from me, Wes, made a delicious 2-layered cake.
2-layer. It was a yellow and a devil's food
with a little bit
cake.
Of stuff in the middle. And I want to say thank you to
hand piped.
Yeah, thank you to Betty for making the icing as well. It was delicious.
Yep, that was homemade at Betty's house. Yep. Mrs. Crocker.
The mother-in-law made an enamel bar, so you got to try that. Did you try some?
We did. I was really stoked about them. When I found out there was coconut, I skipped it, but then you guys, they talked me into it later.
Because you couldn't taste the coconut of it.
I could still taste the coconut, but it was good. It was good. It was, I vividly remember as a child begging to get a snowball because I thought they looked really cool and then vomiting after eating it.
That's why I don't like coconut.
Yeah, well, it was a taste thing, right? And it's still a taste thing. Sure. I don't like coconut. But the enamel bar was palatable, and it was downright good. But the coconut for me,
I quite enjoy it. No, thanks.
Yes,
everyone, a lot of people showed up, made me feel a little bit special.
Well, you are special. Yeah.
Probably a little more special than I actually am, but I got some gifts. I got a nice card from Leia.
Okay.
Who apparently likes me more than her dad does, but me and her dad are the same age.
Not
hang out
hard,
together all the time.
Yeah.
Ketchup chips and Smarties.
That's good.
It's good day. And our jackets came in.
Yes. That was a nice birthday surprise.
They look really good. So
I wore mine today to work, and then I wanted to switch it up, so I wore my new sweatshirt here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can wear the sweatshirt under the jacket. It's almost getting too warm for that, though.
I could. It's so warm. Well, actually, I had, sorry on your birthday, but Kay Watson, I'm holding it in my hand right now. Kay Watson gave me and my wife a hand-knitted Icelandic wool curling patterned toque. So, and I can tell you, like, it's fuzzy because it's like real wool that was hand knitted by Kay, and it's so gosh darn warm. It's I have to keep taking it off because it's so warm if you're not actually outside.
Overheat a little bit. Yeah, it's a hefty looking toque.
No, it is. It's nice
good for ice fishing.
It is good for ice fishing.
Yeah, just got to stitch a little light in there.
Speaking of ice, do we have updates?
Yeah, I mean, we are a curling podcast, so we should probably talk about some things going around our local club.
Yes.
One of which is being a outdoor curling bonspiel.
There is, well, not the bonspiel, because we promoted the back alley bonspiel and we ended up canceling that because of low registration. I blame all the viewers. No, just kidding. So what we're doing now is we're doing a learn to, well, kind of. Everybody's got an excuse. You had an excuse too.
Because I told Evan that I'd help him with ice all weekend, so I never did plan to curl. I was trying to be a nice guy.
Yeah. Well, you were helping organize it too, so cut you some slack. No, so we pivoted here to a learn to curl on Saturday from noon to 6. So open to the public, no charge. Evan Workin is still coming up, and we're using his equipment. He'll be helping instruct. It's going to be a good time, just like what we did last year in March, kind of like a longer extended open house. I know, probably get some coffee crafts again and maybe bring some drinks down there. If the city of Minot, I believe the chief of police, Terry with the Blue Riders, submitted our request for a special event permit to extend his alcohol license over to us.
Good.
He said there is like, not a great chance that we'll get it based on the timeline because of how we're trying to throw it together. But he said it's worth a shot anyways. So if it doesn't happen, what I put in the newsletter today was the bar's still only 100 feet away. You're not going to die of thirst.
They'll never know what's in the goat cup.
I've usually only brown bagged it on Frolf courses, but yes.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Gotta stay warm.
And that's great. So the Axel group, the Ackermans, friend of the club, we're not sitting at their table tonight, but, they have Citizens Alley out there, and then Workin is putting it on with us and the Minot Curling Club. So it's going to be a good event, come on out, do it. And then right before that, we have Prairie Grit.
Yeah, that's this Friday.
Yeah. Did you come to the first one?
I was here for a good chunk of it. Actually, I didn't come out onto the
Hot
ice.
minute? Okay.
I was doing some things up here work-wise, but... it was awesome. Great turnout. You got the RSVP list this time. Is it looking about the same?
Yes, it is looking about the same. I was told 12 kids and a couple adults. I contacted and said like, hey, can I help out? Like maybe try to get a couple more adults because Chris can't attend. Chris Douglas, who's with the sled hockey team and was really the driving force for getting it going. He can't make it this week. But I'm hoping to get some more adults because Chris really would like to start like a wheelchair team and go play some people.
Yeah.
On that note too, I talked to Moose Jaw. They have 5 wheelchair curlers up there, and I think next year, if things hold, we can probably arrange like at least a match between Minot and Moose Jaw for our wheelchair team. That's yet to be determined, but
do it the same way as the last time we sent a team up to Moose Jaw to curl.
Yes, put them on the train on the number 47 and have a parade. Yeah. And then tell them their money's counterfeit, like literal counterfeit. Details on Prairie Grit though. Starts at 6. Youth is 6 to 7, and then after the kids get done, it's free for all for adults. Speaking of Mr. Workin too, he's hooking us up with 8 wheelchair curling heads and sticks. So courtesy of Prairie Grit. So we're going to have those and be able to use them. The nice thing with those heads is that you don't have to twist your wrist when you deliver a stone with a stick. So they have a little linkage in them and they kind of it out for you. I've never used one. I've only seen them on the TV. So I'm hoping to get one in my hand and have them there Friday ready to go. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm like stepping on Prairie Grit's toes by saying this, but I'm sure they're probably okay with some of our adult members coming down. We do have some spare wheelchairs. If they wanted to try it,
100%. We will most likely need people to do that. I ended up doing that at the last one. And we have 5 wheelchairs here. So if somebody comes and like they need a chair, please bring your own, right? You'll be more comfortable in that.
Right.
But yeah, we have spare chairs, and that'll help us fill it out, and if you don't need the chair, we can just stand up and swap and make it easy on everybody. But
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. I figured that was probably the case because I played sled hockey with them before, obviously, just to help round out the numbers. So.
Yep. Same principle there exactly too. And just for anybody listening who maybe was like on the fence about coming and helping out with it, I was really daunted my first outing with it too, but like it was a great experience all around. We had a lot of fun. It's mostly kids that came, and they were just happy to be throwing rocks. They
look like they were having a blast.
Would you fiddle with mine some there?
Did it change how it sounds? Sorry, I'm just messing around. My headphones went hollow again, so I just wanted to check.
I know we're frauds here.
Bouncing
technical issues
through some technical issues.
So I don't know. Prairie Grit's gonna be a blast. Come on out, help out. Like if you just want to come spectate too, that's fine. We got the clubhouse open. Grab beer, hang out. You want to come help out? Great. Anybody who wants to participate, like just come on down. Again, it's free of charge. We got all the equipment. Be a good time.
So busy weekend, lots of stuff going on. Youth curling's going great. I don't have any updates on that, obviously, because the guy that's supposed to give us updates never shows up.
I was here at their last one. They're actually putting a team together for the high school event.
That's exciting. That's coming up here.
Yep. So I think we're going to get a team in because we're hosting it, and I believe this is their last week. So they've they're going to graduate.
Hey, look at that. I did ask one of the young bucks if how it was going. He said great.
Yeah.
And I said, good. So you're joining the league next year? And he said, that's not a good answer. It's a yes or a no.
Yeah.
But more like we got to say yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping, some kids really run with it too and want to do a competitive team, I think that there's people who would love to coach, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It's fun, and it's good to see these get into it.
Live vicariously through the children,
It's the future of our club, right?
No, it is. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so. And I really think like the only way Minot's ever going to have a stake on the high performance scene is, if we develop a youth juniors program and bring them up that way, Yeah.
Yep. What else do we got for updates? The Abendspiel is the first weekend of March.
Yes, the high school one. And then the second weekend of March is seniors.
You got is it state seniors? Is it Dakota Territory?
Dakota Territory.
It is Dakota Territory seniors. Okay. Yep. Also being hosted here. I'm excited for that one too.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I plan on hanging out. Yep.
A good chunk of the goons from the curling club. I don't know.
Talking to old people?
No, us.
Oh,
are going up to the Briar, so that's coming up here too. We're in our 2-week countdown. I actually got a couple of emails today that said
I did too.
Get amped or something like that. So gotta find myself a cowbell.
We should find cowbells.
Yeah, some cowbells would be great.
What else do we got? We got the shirt sleeve still rolling in. That's first weekend in April.
The Mondac Spiel's coming up.
Oh yeah, that's third weekend. Yep. Third weekend of March is Mondac. And then I found out too, again, since I was talking to Moose Jaw, but wheelchair curling, they're hosting Canadian Wheelchair Nationals in Moose Jaw the week of Easter. So they start that Sunday before Easter and then run to the Saturday right before it. So they'll be curling through Good Friday. I'm thinking about going up to it. So if anybody might want to carpool up to Moose Jaw, Good Friday or the Saturday, hit me up because I'm probably going. So
yeah, it'd be fun to watch. It's really fun to watch how good they are. Just appear like a strictly weight-based game. No sweeping. Yeah.
I appreciate that. Skip straws. Do you like sweeping skip straws or no sweep skip straws?
I prefer the no sweep.
Me as well. I exclusively want to do no sweep.
No brooms whatsoever.
Yep.
The skip should know where they're aiming. They should know what weight to throw. Mm-hmm. It makes it more of a skip straw, right? You're not manipulating it with a team member.
Yes. Well, I just think too, we're curling the club level, and if one of my damn teammates burned my stone in a skip straw, that might be it.
Right.
I might have to get a new team. Could you forgive that?
No. Yeah. No, gosh, no. Right. I have seen where they've done it with one sweeper. That's kind of neat.
It is.
It's a little different, but it's.
I would one sweep if you sweep your own stone.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
okay.
That's kind of a fun one. Okay, so
we got a guest today.
We do. Yeah. Yes. Our guest today is Zach Anderson. He is a curler out of 3 different clubs. I guess maybe we'll wait to get into that part here. So we're gonna give him a ring and just talk about his curling career. Yeah.
Dial up.
Well, let's see if I got the audio level right. Okay. Zach.
Hello.
Zach, how we doing?
How we doing, gentlemen?
Splendid.
Just another great night to be at the curling club.
Yeah.
Where you guys are parked up at the club?
That's home away from home.
Mm-hmm. He lives on the west side of town near Burlington, and I live on the east side of town in Surrey. So the curling club is our neutral ground.
It's our secret little getaway together.
Yes. And we actually record because I run the military league here. So I get those guys going, and then we come up here and try to record a podcast while they're curling. And I just cross my fingers that they don't need any help. Yeah.
I dig it though. I feel like you probably are just oozing curling by the time you're done.
Yeah, I burn out every year.
Yeah.
I've actually done really good this year. I'm not. But yeah, I'm always ready for the season to be over when it's time. love the sport, but it's a labor of love.
Right. There's a reason we don't do it all year.
Yeah. Everything should have a time and a place. All right. Well, Zach, where should we start here? How do you want to play this? Do you want to go right for the high notes, or should we go way back and talk about how you got into curling?
Let's start from the beginning.
I mean, do you want to start from the beginning?
Let's start from let's carve the iceberg.
Did you? Okay, so I'm gonna lightly dox you here. So you're from Boston, Minnesota. I am a proud Bemidjian. So did you participate in the Bemidji youth curling program by chance?
I did not throw a curling stone until I was probably about 14. And the only reason that I got to throw one was my my grandfather and my dad would curl at the Leroy Zarling Memorial Spiel every February over in Bemidji. So it was always curling weekend in the family, and I loved it because I got to go stay at the American.
Yes.
Sit in the hot tub with the old guys.
Yes.
You know.
Oh man, you're bringing me back. That's the hotel that I tried to reserve on my prom night, and they wouldn't let me because I wasn't 18. God, we're going down memory lane.
They maybe learned something. They knew your intent.
Yeah, well, where there's a will, there's a way, man. So,
yeah.
All right.
Kudos for trying.
So you did the memorial spiel every year, huh? Now, did that inspire a passion in you, and you started league, or was this something you did, through your teenage years, doing that one outing?
It didn't inspire much. So it's changed now, which kind of frustrates me a little bit. Back in the day, you couldn't do it unless you're 18. And so from the time I was, my dad did it all through my life. We went every year, and I couldn't do it. Then I turned 18, and finally he needed somebody, and I was like, yep, I'll come throw a lead for you. And I sucked at it. And
yep,
in classic father-son action, I think we both realized it was for the best of our relationship if we just didn't curl together.
I've talked about that with couples a lot, and some couples just aren't meant to curl together. And I imagine, yeah, I can see.
Yeah,
that. Yep.
I have no idea how people like Jennifer Jones and Brent Lang. It's got to be an awful ride home, but.
I curl with my wife in leagues, and we've had some quiet rides home for sure. But we still enjoy doing it, I guess.
I don't know if you've listened to past episodes. I'm a native Canadian, and not a Jennifer Jones fan. So I got to say, I think every ride home with her is probably awful.
The Jade Jones hate. She's just about to get on with Holman. I mean, that's tough.
No, and Nolan actually grew up. His dad, I don't know if you call him the rink manager, but Nolan learned to do ice prep on a 2-sheet Sandfork club with his dad, and he's got a lot of Brian Axton stories about how he would do it. So yes.
That's making ice was probably almost worse than actually curling with a family member. If you made ice with them, I think there was probably more tension there.
Yeah, when you screw up, you get to look at it for a long time.
You sure do.
You sure like a dog rubbing your nose. Yeah.
I've participated in a couple floods, and there's been some mess ups, and it's really fun when there's 5 people staring at one person, and it's just unspoken, like.
Yeah. So
really, buddy?
We've got Mark Hildall here, who been curling at the Minot Club his whole life. And he's retired now, to give you an idea on the age there. And his dad was a painter. So when you would miss a spot when he was painting with his dad, he would say a holiday, because you didn't want to paint that spot. Like you took a holiday, you're on vacation. So when you're flooding and you don't get good flood coverage and you leave that dry spot, Mark goes, oh, there's a holiday. You go, yep. Sorry, man.
Love it.
Sorry.
No holidays on the ice.
Oh, yep. Okay. So you did some spiels. You went your separate ways with your dad curling. What's next?
Yeah, recruited some of the boys from college to go up. They were probably more enticed by the idea of it was a sport where you could drink and not really so much the idea of, throwing impressive shots or strategy by any means. And we did that for a couple years. And then, I ended up, so I went to college at NDSU, never curled, moved up to the Devil's Lake Basin, never curled. And then finally 2019 rolls around and I moved back to NDSU or Fargo for grad school. And I look at one of the guys who had done the Zarling with me, and I'm like, dude, why are we not curling down here? Like, they have a beautiful facility, I was like, we better sign up for a league.
Yeah,
I think at that point it had been up for like 3 years or something like that. I mean, it was.
Yep.
There was still dust falling off of everything from cutting the cutting the steel. So we roll in there, and we played with two gals that we knew, and
ex-girlfriends.
No, not girlfriends, believe it or not.
That's not good team dynamic.
Oh, yeah. Well, that sounds like new, past tense.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll throw it in. They made me wish, right?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. Sorry for causing you strife. Yeah. Okay.
No,
so
they and it, I think the kudos to them. They were good sports, because I took it way too seriously, because I was like, we're gonna do something. Like, I'm gonna be good at this.
Yeah.
And that. Anyways, they decided that maybe it wasn't for them, and I think we both had some mutual respect in that, and we ended up picking up a couple dudes that I had met in grad school, and they took to the game pretty quick.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, this actually a son of the Magic City, Al Hempstead, who curls out of Fargo.
Okay.
All of a sudden, we hear about this guy. He's going to 5U Nationals, and we're like, well, what the hell is 5U Nationals?
Yeah. First question. What is it? Yep.
Yeah. So the caveat: the 5U National it's only been in USA Curling's hands. This will be the third year. Prior to that, the U.S. Women's Curling Association handled it. And it was kind of John Schuster was kind of the guy who piloted it. And he saw that there was this gap in new curlers. And I'm sure he probably was like, we're doing so great. And there's all these new curlers because we're winning golds and such, that they need a championship.
Yep.
So he set up this division, and you have to be 21 years of age or older to curl in it.
Yep.
And your youth curling years don't count, but any junior curling and on counts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you curled in 10 games or more a year, that is a year of eligibility. So, I started in Fargo in 2019, so my clock started. Obviously, the pandemic happened, and USA Curling kind of erased 2020. So I am a 5'4" curler. So technically 5 years in the eyes of USA Curling, I'm 4 years in.
Okay. That makes total sense, the way you're describing that league. I went and participated in a 5U tournament in Fargo, actually. And I think the way that tournament was structured was like 3 of them had to be under 5 years. And I don't think they had a experience limit on like one curler on the team. So I was like the 7-year skip that came with a bunch of newbies. I really loved that tournament, though. It was great. I really liked the vibe. We played like the NDSU collegiate team. I remember in a match there. I just like the 5U scene. I think it's great, and it's something I've always thought we should do here. And hearing now the structure for the championship makes total sense, because just like you did, you started in your mid-20s, and unless you're like gonna go whole hog on the high performance scene, like where can you go compete on an even footing with other people, right? You go to club playdowns or something, you're probably gonna get your butt whooped the first couple of years, which is you're supposed to the first couple, but I like that idea of the 5U and how they structured it. It's great.
Yeah, and I think the intent of it fully is that, and I've seen it because I know, this 5U community is rather small. It's, X percentage of curlers in the nation, and then, I'm going to Spiels in, Wisconsin, and Wisconsin has a lot of them, and has a lot of 5U teams, and
yep.
The guys that I know that aged out last year played down for clubs this year, so it's kind of that nice transition. And you guys had Evan working on it. Evan is an absolute beauty, and he tuned into some of our games at Nationals last year, and he was like, I can't believe the level of curling that's going on.
Yeah.
So it's certainly, there's some mistakes without a doubt, but I think it fits very nicely to where if you have had success in 5U, you're going to go to club playdowns and, you're going to win some games. Are you going to win it? Maybe not, but you're certainly going to give some people some problems.
Yeah, you can be competitive, which I think that's the fun part, right? It's always fun to go curling, but it sucks to go to a bonspiel and, shake in the fifth end because you're down 11-0, or 11-2, the whole weekend. That doesn't exactly like make you want to sign up for the next one right away,
Which
right?
makes it so much more welcoming for new curlers, right? Like, you get to play on that almost even level of competition as opposed to, like you said, shaking after 5 or just hanging your head, walking away with your tail between your legs, not liking the sport anymore.
Yeah. Nolan, was there anything equivalent in Canada way back? No.
Nothing like that. No, like we had our high school curling, and then after that it was straight into juniors. So
I suppose it's way more ubiquitous to start as kids there. So they probably don't have as much need for like the 20-year-old that found curling.
No.
Yep.
I mean, you'll see some teams that started later in life, but they just take their licks.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of talk I've kind of heard in the the grapevine, if you will, that Curling Canada's looking at the 5U because I'm sure y'all are very aware of the struggles that they have keeping clubs open and the recruitment and retention. So
yeah.
It'd be pretty cool if all of a sudden we could get a couple countries kicking it around and maybe make something even more out of it. Which
yeah, I like that idea. I'm actually, again, I finally reached out across the border for looking for teams to play my military, league champion and the wheelchair team. So yeah, I really like that idea of, like a American Canadian, interplay, right? I don't know what you call it, championship maybe, but and that's one thing fun too with our bonspiels. Like we always try to get Canadian teams down for them too, because it's a different vibe. It's nice to get the crossover, right?
Yeah, no, I love Canadians. I gotta be honest. There's a couple of stories out there of me not loving Canadians, but those are all false. I love Canadians.
False. Are these? I got to tell you, Zach, here too. I don't know if you know, I married a Canadian gal, so I stole one from the Great White North and brought her down. I know, doing the Lord's work.
Just took her away from the Social Security up there and the universal health care to bring her to Mina.
I did. I had to sit her down and talk to her, and I said, "Dear, I've got real good health insurance. You're going to be okay.
You're going to be good." And let me tell you, the Magic City is the Paris of the North. You're going to love it.
Well, she's actually from just across the border in Redvers, Saskatchewan, is where her parents lived, and she'd been up in Saskatoon. So, like, she grew up coming to Minot, like, every weekend, go to the mall and go shopping and stuff. So she was well-versed with the town, but it was only the Dakota Square Mall and China Star Buffet was the only two landmarks she knew. But,
That's all you need.
That is all you need, man. Yeah, if you're going to go to two places, that and the curling club. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's a...
Well, I was just going to ask Zach. So you started this 5U team. You got a couple guys from grad school, a buddy. I guess to start cutting to the chase on you. You guys started finding some success, and I'm wondering, you were really into the game. You wanted to succeed, and you wanted to play at a high level. It sounds like. How did you go about that? I mentioned it when we were calling you. You curl out of a couple clubs here, and you were living in Fargo, I think, at the start of this. So, what opportunities were out there, like established ones? What did you go find and just like make for yourself? How did you develop as a curler?
Yeah, I think. Fargo is lucky. They kind of are, you might say a hub for high performance in a way. A lot of very competitive curlers that are in and out of Fargo for college or calling Fargo home, and there was probably nothing better for us than getting to play against the Evan Workins, the Ann Photos, the Tim Hodeks, and just, you're right, you do just get your teeth kicked in. But you get forced into playing shots that you probably would hope you never have to play.
Yep.
And at least for me, like I got to play this, corner run into the button.
Yep.
There's no way I make this. And then all of a sudden you make it and you're like, holy crap. All right, that wasn't that hard. Like, let's relax and we can make these shots. And in the same breath, not only being forced into playing like that, those people are amazing when it comes to, hey, I'm noticing I'm doing this. Can you just look at my release or look at my slide or, what are things that got you to where you need to be in? And thankfully, like, they're great people. They're maybe not going to go out of their way to tell you that, but they're very approachable. And when you ask, they're very willing to share.
Yeah. Well, and I would say, too, one advantage with Fargo, right? And this ties in a little bit to stuff we've been doing here in Minot, but, they have the people with the experience, the knowledge, and the facilities and the resources to put in a high quality curling surface for things like a double run back, corner raise to be feasible, right? If you're curling on arena ice, there's no way you make that shot. It's like buying a Powerball ticket, right? But if you're playing on a surface that allows you to practice those shots and then figure out what you're doing wrong and right, that does help you go a long way. And that stuff here we've been trying to improve on. It's like we got RO water now and our curling surface is better. And, we're doing little things every year. Like we got new rocks a couple of years back too. I don't know Fargo's rocks. When I went and played on them in that 5U, which I think was 2019 actually, they were better than Minots. I know they were, like the new, blue hone cord ones with a nice strike band on them. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's great starting. It's kind of in a little ways it's like golf, right? Like go ahead and play the red tees, play the stuff that isn't going to surprise you. And then once you kind of dial in your throw, or for me it was really balance. As soon as I figured out my balance and my slide, it was like, here we go, because weight control never was really much of a problem for me. And it's maybe just luck of the draw. That was what I was gifted. But going to other clubs, because I've played, last year, I think I was like 13 Bonchfields at 9 different clubs. Like, try to get around and get on different ice and different rocks. And you start to get the other side of the game where reading the ice, which I think is the hardest thing when you're starting out. Like, the boys at Kerwith and Bemidji, the skip he's a great guy, but he cannot figure out how to read ice. And I know it bugs him because he's a very athletic individual, but like that part of the game never seemed to click with him.
Well, I'll tell you this. I got two quick things there. The first one is when I talk to new curlers and like teach learn to curls, and they ask that question, like, how do you read the ice? It's a shitbird answer, but I usually go, just watch 10,000 rocks come at you. You'll pick it up.
You'll learn sooner or later.
Yeah, don't force it. Just pay attention every shot. And it'll come eventually. And the flip side of that is, if anybody's listening and you want to learn the ice better, go volunteer on your ice crew. Because you will know, right? It's like you go out there and you do little things, then you'll get that old guy who starts telling you about, well, we got to hand scrape the corners because otherwise the sheet will get bowl shaped and the middle gets more compacted, so you have to scrape it more, because that ice is actually harder than on the edges. And then all that stuff, just starts building this knowledge base for you. And that's not that you have to do that. I'm sure there's plenty of high performance curlers that never ran a scraper, but if you're looking to get that leg up, go do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're a skip and you're not obsessed with the ice in a way, I question if you should be skipping, because, boy, I'll never forget, we show up in Superior, Wisconsin, and I am just mesmerized by the guy pebbling, because he was pebbling completely different than I'd ever seen it before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder why he's doing it that way.
Was he doing that short step, quick whip one where they're like shuffling?
Yeah. And like far wider of strokes than what you'd see. Bemidji's kind of a question mark right now because they lost their ice manager, and there's a bunch of people who are learning how to do the ice. But Dan in Grand Forks and Brady down in Fargo, like I can watch them, and it's not a mirror, but it's certainly very light.
Yeah.
And
is Sean Olson hang around your club, the USCA head ice tech? I know he's from Fargo originally. Is he still located out of there though?
No, I think he moved down. He either moved down to the cities or.
Okay, that makes sense because that's where USCA is headquartered out of. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Again, though, you got the depth, right? You got the experience out there. Yep.
Oh yeah, and it's we got so lucky last year. Qualifying, Evan did the ice. We had a scrape after every draw. He papered the rocks, and he's like, "We're trying to make it exactly like Nationals is going to be." And I'll never forget, we took our first practice slide. 5U Nationals was in Hibbing.
Mm-hmm.
We took our first practice slide on sheet D in Hibbing, and I let the rock go, and I turned around and I said, "It's exactly like Fargo."
Yeah,
like underfoot, everything. It felt exactly like we had it in Fargo. So you're right, we do get spoiled, and I am perpetually reminded by that when we go and curl in some places where you're like, man, this ice is pretty questionable.
Yeah, it's a different, it's a different thing, right? I don't ever want to look down on anybody's club, or what they're doing, but it's just a different vibe. You're going for something different, and everybody has to play on the same sheet too. I think that a good curler who is adaptable, can step in and play on that too and find success.
You should be able to adjust to your ice surface, just like golf, right? Like everyone's playing under the same conditions. The best golfers in the world aren't going to complain that the wind's blowing 5 miles an hour more than it was the day before.
Oh yeah, or if it changes or gusts on your shot. And Zach, you gotta come up here to Minot sometime because we get all of it all at the same time because we have sheet 1 here that is on an exterior uninsulated wall, so it frosts and melts and then puts a big hill on the sheet, so you get that arena hockey ice feel, and then you can go over to sheet 3 and have a pretty top tier experience on that, and then you can get sent over to sheet 5, which just has one goofy hill in the middle because of a frost heave, so you get it all in Minot. We're trying to put out real flexible players.
Yep.
Right. Very adaptable.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's appease all comers.
Yes. No matter what you're into, we got it.
That must be why Charlie adapted down in Devil's Lake, because I don't think I ever heard any of them complain. And
oh, don't talk to me about Devil's Lake. I've heard 6 different times from like 7 different people who go, well, Devil's Lake's got ice like this. Oh, okay, well.
Yeah.
Getting sick of it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Zach, I want to hear about your tournament there. So you're doing 5U. You're at Hibbing. So you're trying. Is this a qualifying event for nationals? Like win it and you're in, or is it place finishes and you're in? What's the structure?
So this is nationals.
Okay. So you're already in. Yep.
So we qualify. I can touch briefly. We qualified in Fargo. So we were the Dakota Territory 5U champions.
Okay.
And we won that, and then we had to go play the other side of the bracket was out of town teams. So we had to play the Funk Rink which that's funny, right? Funk Rink. But they're out of the Dakota Curling Club down in Lakeville, and they had been to nationals the year prior. Very good curlers, good guys. They're a group of middle-aged guys that all work for Toro.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah,
it's kind of comical,
cool.
Right? Like I don't know if it was their midlife crisis or what, but they were.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and I tell you what, we were just on one that weekend. I think it was like 14-3. They shook in the 5th. Like.
Yep.
We were unstoppable.
That game where every time you let go, you just know it's a good shot. You're like, yep, throw another dime, got her.
Yeah, we scored I think we scored 5 in the second, and at that point I was like, we got to try really hard to lose this game. So we lucked out, got qualified in much to our excitement, the championship was in Hibbing, which is,
convenient.
For me, it was like a 2.5 hour drive. It was pretty casual.
Yep.
We go up there and we ended up it's all peer seated, and we ended up in Pool A. Ooh. I still got you there? I had a little
no, we're here.
Yeah, we're here.
Yep.
Okay.
Just listening.
So we end up in Pool A, and we've got we're playing the favorites, which was Team Dickinson out of the Madison Curling Club. And then we had Team O'Reilly, which was an Ardsley Curling Club out in New York.
We talked to a junior curler that curls out of Ardsley, actually. Yeah, small world. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's crazy how small of a world it gets to be. So the Ardsley boys, we had a team from Potomac out in Maryland. We had some guys from Fairbanks, and then a team from Milwaukee. And we started off, we played the group from Potomac, and again, we came out of the gate screaming. It was like 9-1, shook in the sixth. We're like, holy smokes, we're like, is this a sign of the times? Played our next game against the Fairbanks crew, and again, rack up a big score and shake early. I'm like, all right, when are we going to face any adversity here? Because I know what's coming. There's good curlers here.
Yep.
And we go play the crew from Milwaukee, and same story, like 9-3, shook in the seventh. I'm like, this is too good to be true. And the same thing happened to us with club playdowns this year, and I wish we would have faced some adversity early, because we ended up playing Dickinson then for a Friday night draw, and gave up a 4, just couldn't really get stuff moving. And then finally at the end, everything started clicking, and we ended up, I think we lost by 1.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, well, that's frustrating.
So did you jump tournaments there? Because we were talking about your 5U, and you're on like a 3-game tear there. Did you switch over to talking about like the club playdowns? Just trying to follow.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. At club playdowns, we ripped off 3 big wins right off the cuff. So
okay, yeah, same kind of story. No, you're good. You're good. So to get back to your first 5U, where did you end up in that tournament then, man? You're on a tear. Did you win? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
We ended up 3-2, so we didn't make it out of pool play.
Oh. Okay.
We needed the Milwaukee team to beat the team from Madison.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what. I knew that Skip on that team was a dog. Like, he had it in him. He made some crazy corner run back to the pin, and I was like, this guy's been watching too much Kevin Cooey, right? And he had to do it again, and he missed it the second time by the width of paper.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just like. So we're out of the tournament, but it was a great time, and we had way too much fun.
You're promoted to bar crew, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the Hibbing Curling Club does not run out of mix. It's a setup bar, just like Bemidji. So that is full danger.
Well, I lived on the Iron Range for a while, and I can tell you they if they run out, there's bigger problems. It's like nuclear war or something's broke out if the bar runs out of light beer. So
yeah, so
those Rangers, they know how to drink.
Yeah, they do it good. I would recommend a trip to the Iron Range to curl to anyone, because they are fantastic goals.
Well, I always want to go to Hibbing because I know Jared Allen still makes an appearance there usually once a year. And I'm like, I want to go to a Hibbing Spiel and meet my favorite football player of all time.
Yeah, you guys need to dial up a team for the last chance.
Yeah, we've chatted about it between just us here on the podcast about making it out there, but always seems to be something, whether it's kids or weddings or.
No, we have too many darn bonspiels that we all help out with here.
That's also true.
Yeah,
yes.
We broke some hearts. We said we were going to the Briar. Hey, we'll be gone for that one event. Well, who's going to do the ice? I don't know.
Oh, you guys are headed up to the Briar?
Oh, yeah, we're doing opening weekend. Oh. Yeah.
I'm very envious. That is going to be awesome.
Well, there's still tickets, man.
Yes.
I mean, go to Fargo, hop on the Amtrak, come to Minot, and then carpool.
You got 10 days of curling?
Yeah.
I think the problem is I got too many spiels scheduled during that time.
Yeah, same issue, different side of the equation. Yep.
Yeah. But
yeah,
so yeah, that's kind of the 5U last year.
And this year you've qualified, right? I think we spoke on that. You have qualified, and they have yet to hold the 5U nationals. Am I accurate there?
Yep. So we decided, or I shouldn't say we. I got talked into going to Windy City down in Chicago for the inaugural 5U cash spiel, which hats off to the 5U guys down there. They put on a hell of a spiel. And we went down there with 3 guys because, okay, so I should run through my team.
Yeah.
So I skipped Jared Swanberg, who I will refer to as Swan habitually, is my 3rd. Seth Morkin usually throws 2nd for me, and Alex Iverson is lead. Brandon Breckheimer is our alternate.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, Brandon and Seth couldn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Brandon's reason was, but Seth had some work function. It wasn't a good enough excuse for me.
Well, they never are.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. He's got a wife and kid. That's not even good enough.
My buddy Hoops said he couldn't go to the Briar because they're having a baby like 2 days before it starts. And I'm like, well, she's out of labor. I don't know why you can't come.
Right.
Yeah, that's
you just got to tell them men weren't even present for the births of children until 1980s.
Well, I'll say this. He might not have been present for the conception, just to start rumors here. So.
Oh, Jesus.
Hope you're listening, Hoops.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Well, some people are into that. Anyways.
It's off the rails. I love it.
Moving on.
Oh, boy. Yeah, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
All right. Hey, since we're talking about things that we probably should have got to earlier, you just rattled off your team there, which I want to hear more about. Don't let me forget to plug your sponsors, though. You can do it now, and we can do it at the end, too.
Shameless plug to cap the pod, maybe, huh?
Yeah. Well, there's no shame. We're all about it. We hope to someday plug sponsors too.
Oh yeah.
Someday.
I wish I could give you a tip, but I think we just kind of happen to have a couple buddies that are reckless with their money, maybe.
I need more of those friends. Yep.
Yeah. So we're down. The last place a guy from northwestern Minnesota wants to end up is Chicago. So here I am on a 5 a.m. flight to Chicago. Our first draw is at 4, and we're bumming around, and I'm kind of already sick of it. But we show up. The club's really cool. It's in the basement of a strip mall, and play our first game. Wish I could remember who we played. I think it was Alan Pencar out of Peachtree down in Atlanta.
I'm so impressed with your remembering names, man. I'm terrible at it. So yeah, kudos.
Short curling career, so it's easy, right?
Yeah.
But we ended up playing them pretty well. We kind of had some hiccups. We hadn't been on ice for, my lead there, Iverson. He hadn't been on the ice since nationals last year. So we're kind of getting the speed bumps. And in fact, if you want a funny, I listened to your episode with Evan talking about slider thicknesses, and the year before we were like, Iverson, you got to get 1/4-inch sliders.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
Yep.
He takes them out of the plastic 5 minutes before our first draw.
How many times did he fall?
0 times.
Oh, he didn't?
I have no... The guy's a cat. I don't know what to say.
Well, kudos to him then.
That front foot was probably just swaying back and forth, though.
Yeah.
So
okay. So you got some speed bumps. Yeah, I can see.
Oh yeah. So we're like, we should probably be beating these teams by maybe more, but we're hanging in there, and that's great. And the next game comes up, and we somehow are tied. I will say, as a skip, I made a stupid decision. I had an open draw for 4 or a hit for 5, and I was like, we're definitely hitting for 5. I mean, go for glory. And end up ticking our own and giving up 1. And
there, but yes. Yep.
Good learning experience is what we'll call that. So skip stones on that one. I actually plugged a pretty good one. I think I hit the full 4 foot, and we're like, all right, next game we play a team from Kalamazoo, and it was just a battle. It was just ones, and I don't know if it's because both teams were struggling with the ice, figuring out there was kind of some wonky stuff going on there, or if we just were that equal. They were a very good team, and I will say,
is Kalamazoo
their
Michigan?
last name?
Okay.
Kalamazoo, Michigan. Team Ray out of Kalamazoo. Very impressed with them, and I'm surprised they have not qualified yet. They would have been my Vegas bet to qualify. But skip stones again there, and I barely bite the 12 foot, and I'm just sweating. I'm like, this is our loss. We're not going to make the playoffs now. Whatever. Good. It was a good vacation, boys, and boy, the opposing skip there, he gave me a gift because he blew one through the house, and I was like, I probably shouldn't have won that game on that rock. But
you haven't had too many skip straws go all the way down to the lead, have you? That's my MO. Usually I usually don't hog it, but I usually leave it short, and then my third can't do it, and second, and then it comes down to my wife. So yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And then it's a quiet ride home if she misses it.
Actually, that's my favorite curling memory ever. Is it that exact scenario played out, and my wife dropped one like full 4. And we won that game. It's the only time I've ever jumped on ice. Yeah, like enjoy, right? Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so you guys won, and this was a cash deal. What was the purse then?
Purse is a good question. So first place we won $2,000.
Okay,
which was a good payment. I think if we would have brought 4 guys, we at the end of it we were like, 3 was a good move because we pocketed a couple $100.
Don't have to split it. Yes. And I imagine if you flew, though, that's like probably covering the flight. Yeah.
Yeah. When it was all said and done, it was close to a wash, but great experience down there. It was cool getting to it. I maybe would have never got to that club if it wasn't for that cash deal. So, looking back, I shouldn't have been such a stick in the mud, but it was October, and I like hunting ducks, so it was kind of like,
yep,
man, do we really got to start curling this early?
I feel you. Everybody wants to start the season earlier, and I go, we got plenty of time. Don't you worry about it. We're fortunate that we have a lease that we can't start earlier then, so we have a limit. But yes.
Sure.
Yep.
Right, yeah. So we won that sucker, and then I said, well, we got 6 months to practice because 5U Nationals is the last weekend of April down in Chaska. So.
Oh, it's in Chaska this year. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. They're treating us with all sorts of vacations, USA Curling, They're like, you want to go to Hibbing in April? Hell yeah. You want to go to Chaska in April? Who doesn't?
Right. Here it's lovely.
My mom's side of the family's from Owatonna, just south of the cities there. So it's like we'd go there for the holidays, and it felt very tropical because they usually didn't have snow on the ground. So you drive 4 or 5 hours south, and you're like, oh, this is so nice. It's 45 degrees. Wonderful. Yep. Just need a sweatshirt. Yeah.
Got the banana belt down there. That's what I like. Anything south of St. Cloud, there's citrus trees and.
Well, we're both from like this. We're essentially from the same town, but I always tell people like, yeah, anything south of St. Cloud's just the cities to me.
Oh, yeah, that's not even up for debate.
No, yeah, it is. It's like
I hope.
Yeah, you can go to St. Cloud. St. Cloud's okay, but the rest of it, it's cake eater territory.
That's right. And anyone who wants to argue that, give them my email.
Yeah.
You get hate mail.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I'll just give you my address. Come on over. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good, man. I think we're going to cut her.
I had one quick question.
No, I got a couple more, too. But yeah.
So you're on year 4 or 5 for the 5U. Just looking forward into your future currently. Do you plan on kind of sticking high performance? Do you got an idea of maybe looking at going to qualifying for men's nationals or continue on playing like that, or what's the plan from here on?
Men's nationals might be. I guess if given the opportunity, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't want to skip at that level by any means, but if given the opportunity, I'd probably be hard pressed to pass it up. Probably look more to the club and maybe mix 4 playdowns.
Okay.
Yep.
It's just seems like that's a really nice, like, clubs was awesome this year. And like mix 4s just seems like it's like just the right mix of like high level club play and high performance play. So that's kind of what intrigues me right now. If I see you guys in 2 years, I'll probably sing a different tune. So
it's all good.
Who knows?
And then my one here too. So we got somebody listening. Maybe they're a new curler. They qualify in 5U, and they want to go out and hit the ground running on it. Do you have any recommendations for them? Is it just find time to practice, join all the leagues you can, start traveling and competing? What do you think is the secrets to success?
Ooh. Yeah, I maybe have 3 points. First, obviously, throw rocks like crazy. You're never going to be comfortable in the high pressure situations unless you're comfortable, with your delivery and such. Number 2, if you're not, like right now, I'm sitting here watching the Scotties. This is free education in my eyes. Not that I think 5U curlers are calling a similar game or remotely, but you might get that one odd time where you're like, oh, I remember, I'll plug Jennifer Jones again. I've got to show a little love for my Winnipeg gal.
You should have seen. I just saw all the whites in his eyes as they rolled back. Yeah.
All right. I'll do. I got to meet Lori St. George here this summer, and she was a really nice gal. And so you see Lori St. George, and she opted to not throw a double, and instead decided to, come underneath centerline guards without the handle, or something along those lines. Where I know in my early curling days, I was like salivating over the doubles. I was like, that is the call. That's it. You always throw the double. Yeah,
people always want to, weight's the harder one to fine tune in the long term. Everybody figures out the line and then thinks they're the takeout master. There's that learning curve, right? Yep.
And then the single maybe best piece of curling advice I ever got was from Mary Jaster, who is a Grafton, North Dakota curler, and if anyone ever has the opportunity to meet Mary, she is an absolute fantastic person, one of the nicest people I've ever met. And we played at our first state 5U playdowns, or regional 5U playdowns, excuse me. And she looked at Swan, Brandon, and I, who we've known each other forever. And she said, I can tell that you guys have curled a lot together. And I said, oh, why is that? And she's like, I can just tell that you kind of all know your little intricacies. And she goes, you can't pay a coach to teach you that. You can't throw enough stones to recognize it. Like, that is something that is priceless.
Yep.
And throughout this little short 5U run and even into the future, the name of the game has always been we're qualifying with the boys. I don't want to qualify with anyone else. I've got my guys. I trust them. They trust me, or at least I sure hope they trust me. We seem to. But I play the 3 leagues I play in. I actually don't really play with any of my 5U curlers. I play with different guys, and I can say with confidence that if I'm scooting down the ice and I have to make a draw to the pin to win, if I've got Brandon, Alex, or Seth sitting next to me going, you got to hit a 4-0, or this is your split. And I'm like, you like this ice? Yep, I like the ice. Swanee's down on the other end holding the broom. I have more confidence than we probably should be allowed to have And it's all because I've done it all with them. In the short amount of time, we've done a lot. And I think that, like I was talking to Charlie Young about this at clubs, actually. I said, the biggest thing is if you guys can stick together, you can make some stuff happen. Personalities jiving, and like my guys understand that I get a little hot every once in a while, and Swan's not afraid to look at me and tell me to, like, hey, like, let's keep it in check. Yeah. Let's win the game. And I understand that I'm gonna have a little hissy fit afterwards. I'm a very dramatic human. But that's the kind of stuff that if you really want to take it to the next level, like look at the amount of time and effort that USA Curling Canada, all these governing bodies that manage high performance teams are putting into psychology. Like, there's obviously a lot to be had there that maybe goes unnoticed with some of the lower level stuff, like their club play and so on. So you go out and get you a group of guys, or group of 4, and go out and have a bunch of beers and get mad at each other every once in a while. And at the end of the day, I mean, I love the guys, like, flat out. We've kind of in 2 years' time, I feel like we've really become, I don't know, best friends maybe is a stretch. I don't love Swan that much. But like I know what he's got going on in his life, and everyone's looking to better themselves, and it's kind of like the team goal aspect is like, unfortunately you got to cut some people loose every once in a while, but there's no hard feelings, and get you a crew that's going to go to battle. Yep. Well,
and, find 4 people that are all rowing the same direction, same pace.
Right.
It's tough sometimes, but yeah.
And have understanding wives.
Yeah. I think we can attest to that almost more than anybody else at the club here.
We call them the widows. Yes, the widows of the Minot Curling Club. That's our wives. We're gonna get them jackets someday, we swear. Okay, I got a fun one, and I think Nolan probably got one last one for you. My fun one is that gravel pit between Bemidji and Foston, Bear Ass. Is that still full and still a popular swim hole? I always drive by the turn for it, and I think about going out there and seeing if the rope swing's still there. I figured you might know, living so close to it.
I do know what you're talking about, but I don't know if I've seen photo evidence, and I certainly have not been out there.
Oh, man.
In a very long time.
Oh, so much shenanigans out there. God, that's probably why I got bad shoulders, is that rope swing.
It's all part of growing up.
It is all part of growing up, man. Yeah.
My last question here, it's not about a gravel pit or a swim hole or anything like that.
It could be,
I guess. Yeah. It's one we ask everybody that comes on the pod with us. It's what is your most memorable moment in your years of curling? And we do put a disclaimer. We prefer it to be embarrassing. It doesn't have to be, but those are always a little more fun to listen to.
Ooh, embarrassing.
Doesn't have to be. Just like when you think curling, and like for me, it was the wife thing. Like when we went all the way down and all of us biffed, both teams to the lead skip draw. My wife drops one on the 4. That was my most memorable curling moment, right?
Yeah, I think my most memorable curling moment might be, so we had qualified for 5U already, and they were hosting a qualifying event in Superior, and I was trying to get out of it, and the manager was like, it's too late, there's like 3 days left, we don't have a wait list or anything, so just come. Mm-hmm. And we're like, okay. And we proceeded to drink extremely heavily before our first draw, because we just, I don't want to say we didn't care, but you
were in Superior, Wisconsin. What else are you supposed to do?
Right. Yep. So there we are in Soup City, and we're like, maybe a dozen beers deep, and I took one step on the ice, and I have never fallen so hard. I went straight down, and everyone looked at me like my soul left my body. I mean, people were concerned.
Oh.
And I'm like, no, I'm all good. Let's just keep going. And
It's just a minor concussion.
yep. And we proceeded to lose that game with all my dignity still intact. And I hope people remember that fall.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be far more stupid stories because we as a team get into some shenanigans. So that's not probably the last or even what will be the worst. So
Yeah, well, you got a long career ahead of you, please.
I always say the best stories come out of the curling club, so there'll be plenty.
yeah.
All right, man. Well, it's been great chatting. I got your phone number now, so next time I'm back around B-Town, maybe hit you up and see if the club's open in Bemidji. We can go throw some rocks.
Heck yeah. Yeah, if you guys are ever in the area or, make her down to a wood chipper down in Fargo or Grand Forks, we'll maybe bump into you.
Yep.
And,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. How's that game going? You got it on? Who's winning? Holman?
I actually, it switched over to the early game, and I haven't had the opportunity to switch, but probably Jones. I mean, she is the GOAT, so.
Beg to differ.
Hey, real quick before you go, rattle off your team members again and rattle off those sponsors. Get that shameless plug out.
Yeah, so we got Alex Iverson at lead, Seth Morgan at second, Jared Swanberg throwing third and vicing for me, myself, Zach Anderson skipping. Brandon Breckheimer's been our fifth, and he doesn't maybe know it yet, but Tim Hodek's going to be our coach down there. So he'll find out when he listens to the pod.
Surprise.
Yeah, and then, we've been very fortunate to have some awesome sponsors, Aero Advisors, CPA Group in Fargo, Hire Structural Engineers, Work and Curling Supplies, Swanberg Construction, DJI Insurance, Nutrient Egg Solution, and Icewind Brewing.
You got Nutrient, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of in the Nutrient. A couple, Brandon may or may not be a rep. So if you need any chemical or liquid fertilizer, reach out to your Cavalier Nutrient Solution headquarters. Talk to Brandon Breckheimer.
Yes.
Right.
Love it. Love it. All right, Zach. Well, I'll let you go here. It's been fantastic, though. Thanks so much for hopping on, all right?
Yeah, best of luck for the rest of the curling season as well.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. It's been fun, and good luck with the rest of your guys' season.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
That
Well,
was a good episode. Good fun. Nice to hear about.
This is great.
That 5U is such a unique concept, and you asked me if Canada did that, and I wish they would.
Yeah.
It's just everyone starts at a young age and sticks with it. It's tough for those new people to get into it. I think it'd be a great thing for them to start even now.
Yep. No, I agree. Maybe we should think about trying to spool something up here in Minot, It is one of those things, too. Like, if you can get somebody to stay at the club for 5 years, you've probably got them for longer. Unless life comes up, right?
Yeah,
Which
you
does.
invest in shoes and a broom.
But, it would be good to, wag that carrot out there and have something fun for them, where, again, you might not come and win, but you at least feel like you're going to be more competitive.
Right.
I like that. And that 5U tournament I did in Fargo, which different rules there, right? Because I got to come skip. That was a great experience for me. I had a blast at that tournament.
I actually kind of had like a off idea of what the 5U was. I thought it just had to be a team that had curled together.
No. I knew that.
Brand new, so I'm not eligible, obviously.
Yep. No, I'm not either. Yep.
I don't think I would have been even when I started here.
Yeah. Well, Clay would be eligible because he curls, but does he really curl?
He doesn't podcast.
Yeah.
Should we call him?
Well, you should call him. Can I just say we're at 100? Sorry, not 100. We're at an hour and 9 minutes.
Really? That long?
We've been going.
Oh,
this is
awesome.
going to be our longest one.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It was a good episode. It was good chatting.
Here's the boy.
Just hang up right as soon as he answers.
We could. Maybe he's finally going to let us go to voicemail, and we'll get to leave that voicemail.
Do we sing a song?
We could.
Hi, this is Clay. Please leave a message.
That's a really...
It was Minot where I met her. You know I won't forget her. Hey, Clay, we just got done interviewing Zach Anderson, and is tradition we're calling you.
Yeah, because you're not here.
Yep. We miss you.
Well,
We've also been talking smack about you, but we miss you.
a lot of smack today.
Yep.
Yes. All right. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Well, it finally happened.
Yep.
So what are we going to do this one in the description? Because I do 2.5 when he calls in. Should we do like 2.1?
2 1/3?
2 and 3? 2 and, a third. 3, 3, 3, 3,
2 3/8?
All right. Yeah,
Okay.
I can do 3/8.
3/8,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
0.375. I know that one. Yep. Don't have to worry about the repeating decimal.
5/16?
Not as comfortable there.
No.
Nope. We've lost me. I think that has a repeating decimal too.
Does
With
it?
the 16ths. Yeah. I don't know. I'm an engineer. I use a
Thirds
calculator.
do too.
Well, you forgot to ask Zach what he did for a living. He
Oh,
went
yeah.
and got his master's degree too.
Yeah?
I wonder if he's in ag, or maybe that was just Brian. Yeah.
I don't know. I know if you need any liquid fertilizer or chemical.
Right. Brian Burchard with Nutrien out of Cavalier. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's North Dakota, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to call the boys and see who they're using.
Probably somebody a little more local.
Yeah, probably
would
not
assume.
Cavalier. Yeah.
Just out of convenience, probably. Nothing against.
I know they get most of their seed from Hefty. Does Hefty do chemical too?
I don't know.
I don't
have
know.
to look into that.
We should get them to sponsor us too.
Yeah.
I've also heard that Brock Lesnar, who is another great Minnesota boy, who lives just north of Redvers there.
Yeah,
He's got a
Redfield.
stake in Hefty, right?
He's in a little hot water right now. Might want to steer clear of Brock Lesnar. at
What's
the
wrong
moment.
with Brock
He's
Lesnar?
got his toes in with the whole Vince McMahon thing that's going on.
Ooh, bad.
Yeah, not great.
Ooh,
Not great.
Yeah, never mind.
So let's,
Never mind.
I don't want to badmouth him because he's a lot bigger than I am.
Yeah, have you seen his hands? My cousin
Huge.
wrestled him one time.
Really?
Yeah, he went to camp at the U of M when he was junior going on senior in high school, and it was Brock Lesnar had, that was his last year of eligibility, but he was at that camp. So he had to like wrestle him in practice.
Yeah, giant human being.
Giant man. I actually got my hair cut by his barber because his family is originally from like by Alexandria, and I went to get my hair cut there when I lived there, and I saw a picture of him. I was like, oh, it's Brock Lesnar. My cousin wrestled him one time, and he's like, oh, he gets his hair cut here all the time.
Just the one specific little haircut that the guy does.
Yeah.
Just like leaves a little bit in the front.
It was. Is that what his haircut was? I thought it was like real tight on the sides, just a little bit on top, and usually like pointed
Kind of a crew
at you.
cut almost.
Yeah, just like enough hair to like cover the, where the
So he didn't sunburn. He's pretty blonde, so.
he is pretty blonde.
Yeah.
It's that Nordic blood,
Yeah.
Yeah. What else are we gonna ramble on here? We're gonna call her.
Curlingdraft.com.
Yep. So, just for our listeners that somehow stuck around for over an hour with us, as soon as curlingdraft.com updates their website, we are going to try to sponsor our first viewer engagement contest.
Yeah.
So if you register a team on curlingdraft.com, we're not experts on the site. We signed up to do the Scotties and it's closed now. We'll probably come out with a specific name you need to put in there, or
Yeah,
you'll
'cause I
have
don't
to
think
let
you
us
can do
know.
your own tournament.
Yeah, you'll have to like maybe send us a screenshot if you beat us, and whoever has the best curling pool for the Briar
Wins a sticker.
wins a fabulous prize. I think we'll probably cough up a little better in a sticker.
Yeah, we can make a trophy. We
Yeah.
can give them my trophy that I won last year.
Well, yes, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Still in my locker. I got like 6 cups in my locker too from Bonsfield said we could give away.
What else do we usually? We got those medallions. I got the challenge coins
Challenge
too.
coins are in,
yeah,
yes.
we could give one of those. Yep, all sorts of fabulous prizes you might win, maybe. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yeah, so this is you pick your teams. It's points based. It's kind of like almost like a fantasy curling type of deal. It's pretty cool. I'm glad you turned me onto this because now I'm hooked.
Well, I liked it because it was so simple. It was like just pick 6 teams, and then based on their seeding rank, like the better teams, air quotes, they score less points when they win. So if you pick an underdog, you might get 60 points every time they win. But like in the Scotties, if you pick Homan, you only get 11 points.
Right. Or you pick Ackerman from Saskatchewan. That's 23 points.
Yeah.
to win, which was working really good for us.
It was.
She just kind of gotten some tougher not necessarily tougher competition. She's been curling really well.
I'm glad I picked my gal Kate though, because you know she's had some tough L's, but I really think that she's going to go the distance because I believe in the bracketed play you still get points. So if your team loses out in the pool play, you know you're not going to score anymore, right?
You're just going to hold on.
Yeah, but I suppose you could always try and do the calc. You know, if you're an underdog team and they get a couple wins at 70 points, does that outweigh Homan winning 7 times? You know, in the bracketed play, right? You know, it is
real
tough.
Laws big time disappointment in this though.
Yes, I picked her as well. Yep. Yeah, that was
nothing against her. Just you got to be better for me.
I haven't caught any games the last since work started again. But I was looking at some comments there talking about her third. You know, is that what the issue's been?
I haven't seen any
lower
really
ranks
games,
haven't been hitting shots.
I haven't seen a whole lot. I know there's been some up and down players.
Yeah. I've how's Sturmey doing? How's the home team Alberta? She's still on a tear. She beat
Saskatchewan last night, so they're cruising.
Yeah, I remember she beat that one. Yep.
Young gal, 25?
20, 25. Yeah, 25. Yep.
For example, right now I'm sitting 80th out of 225.
And I'm sitting higher than that, aren't I?
Yeah.
You looked it up.
291 points. But we're still close. I mean, one win could change that around.
Yeah.
Wes, you're sitting at... you're in 143rd, but 261 points. So really, it's close. The leader is at 367 points.
Yep.
So lots can change.
As a bot, anyways. Yeah. No way somebody you actually.
No.
Yep. Just a numbers game. Hey, since we're talking like stats and rankings, shout out to our fantastic viewers because we're at
guys.
On the cusp of 2,600 all-time listens, and we keep breaking our record for last 30-day downloads. We're at 575. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
If you have any topics, or if you are just one of our viewers from a club in somewhere neat and want to talk to us, hit us up. Yep.
The other part there, you know, if you're listening and you're one of those people with a business and you're like, well, I could sponsor a curling podcast.
Tax write-off.
I mean, right to the source, you know.
Yeah. Cameron Jones, Edward Stone.
Yep. Edward Jones.
Yeah, that's what I said, Cameron Stone.
Yeah.
Or Cameron Jones, Edward Stone.
Cameron. It's too much.
Yeah,
it's too much.
I messed it up. I'm sorry. That's not what he is.
Yep. All right. Well, we doing her?
Yeah, let's shut her down. That was episode 14. Thanks for hanging in there.
Yep. Bye.